Havoc.
News, interviews, and more.
We just reek of Huntsville Havoc hockey.
Welcome back to another week of the Reekin Havoc podcast. I'm Tim Lambert. Laura Pitts got together with defenseman Reekin Erne a couple of days ago for an In the Slot visit. That's coming up in a minute. Coach Stu Stephan also offers up his pick of the pack for this week. And we've got recaps, stats, and a bit of SPHL news coming your way later on as the Reekin Havoc podcast continues.
The Reekin Havoc podcast.
One of the worst feelings you can have is that of being stranded. Well, BT's Towing, Tire, and Truck Repair makes that a thing of the past, with 24/7 towing services and roadside assistance in the northern Alabama and southern Tennessee areas. But that's not all. They also offer truck and trailer repair, mobile welding, brake service and repair, new and used tires, and other major and minor repairs. Their name says it all. BT's Towing, Tire, and Truck Repair. For 24/7 response, call 497-8234. That's 497-8234. BT's Towing, Tire, and Truck Repair. Got something to say? Put it on a t-shirt, or hoodie, or apron, or even an iPhone case. Just go to daddyoscustomtees.com and make it happen. Look through their selection of ready-made designs, or make one of your own. Check out their special hockey designs, too. With Daddy O's Custom Tees, you can truly have it your way. Look for Daddy O's Custom Tees on Facebook, follow them on Twitter or Instagram, or go online to daddyoscustomtees.com. That's DADDYOS Custom TEES.com. Daddy O's Custom Tees. They've got your back or front.
Let's go in the slot.
Welcome back, hockey friends, again for another In the Slot episode of the Reekin Havoc podcast. And this week we are excited to welcome Reekin Erne, not Ernie, as I always like to laugh about, to the broadcast to talk to us. So, Lincoln, how are you? How are things going? Welcome to the show.
I'm good. Things have been great. I've loved my time in Huntsville. I'm glad I decided to come play here, and I've got no complaints. Everything's been going well. So happy to be here and be able to chat with you guys a little bit.
Well, I appreciate that. I was looking at some of the stuff from where you've been in the ECHL, and I was laughing. You've got quite a collection of different mascots that you have played for. You've been a Pirate, an Iceman, a Steelhead, a Growler. You've done all those kinds of things. So you've been kind of around in the ECHL area. How was that experience for you, just being able to do all those things?
It was awesome. My first year, my rookie year, I was by myself. My girlfriend wasn't with me, and to be able to experience like St. John's, Newfoundland was an awesome spot. I mean, it's the most easterly point on the North American continent. So I think the time zone is 2.5 hours ahead of here. So it was a unique experience living out there. Met some cool people. And then go to Idaho. Idaho was one of my favorite spots. It was a great city, great fans. We had a good team. And then Jacksonville, my first year, I was just there towards the end, got traded there at the deadline. But I got nothing to complain about with the weather there. It was great. And then last year, the hope was the reason I signed in Iowa was to kind of be in one spot, and it was close to home, and I had a good relationship with the coaches. I ended up getting hurt, and as I was coming back for the injury, got traded again, and then not too long after that, traded again. So it was kind of a whirlwind, and I think like my first year I was fine with that. Last year I didn't really want all the moving around. It gets to be a lot when you're driving from Iowa to Georgia to Utah to all across the country, and that's kind of part of the reasons why I ended up coming here. Was I wanted that stability. I just wanted to come someplace where I could enjoy playing and not have to worry about the transactions page every other day. And yeah, it's been everything that I could have asked for and more. So I'm really happy with my decision.
I never thought about the kind of whirlwind of having to go from place to place to place.
Yeah,
kind of upending everything. As for you as an athlete, I mean, that lack of stability at times, how does that weigh on you mentally, knowing that you mentioned kind of watching the transaction list and stuff? Is that kind of like sitting on you? Yeah,
I think I would say, I'm really big into like the mental side of the game and stuff. I actually started talking to a sports psychologist my first year at junior and have worked with him throughout my whole career. And it's one of those things that like, as much as you think you have it under control or whatever, like when you get traded so many times, or whether it's released or traded or this or that, like subconsciously your body's just kind of in that mode. Like you never really know what's going to happen, right? Like you could have told me that I was going to get traded from Idaho. I would have said no way, or, certain things, and then they happen. So I think it's just one of those feelings like you're always on your toes. Like even if you're, comfortable, and like I'm a very like outgoing guy. Like I'm good at making friends and like joining new teams and stuff, but it's also crappy when like, you're with a group for 2.5 months, you play 25 games and you're getting close with them, and then all of a sudden you're gone like that and you're on a new team and you got to integrate right away. And, luckily the hockey world's a small world, and, I've usually had a buddy or two on a lot of the teams that I've been on, but it's still tough to, it's hard on your body, right? You get in your car, you travel throughout the night to get there maybe in time for a game, and then your body's worn down, and then mentally you're worn down too because you just haven't been eating well, maybe sleeping, and it just can be a lot, and like I think I was really lucky in junior hockey. I didn't get traded or released. I was drafted by the same team I played for 2 years, and then I went to college at the same place for 4 years, and then pro hockey, those last 2 years, I've just kind of been all over the place. So it's something that I hadn't really had to experience. I mean, I'm pretty good with just rolling with the punches, but it's been a nice change of pace. Like I knew when I come here, like I told Stu, like I don't want to go anywhere else. Like I want to come here and play. Like I don't care about a call up. I don't care about that. Like I played in that league. I've done it. Like, and it's been nice just knowing that I'm here. I'm going to be in one spot, and you can just enjoy it, right? You can just enjoy the hockey more. You can just enjoy your teammates more. You don't have to worry about is someone coming down from the American League, or are we trading for a guy or whatever. Like it's just a more comfortable feeling, I'd say.
Well, you get to play and do what you want to do. I mean, the whole point of what you're doing is you want to be out there on the ice, enjoying it and playing the game that you love. And so
yeah, exactly.
When you take that mental aspect out of it, it kind of gives you some sort of reprieve from all of that.
Yeah, exactly. It's just, and it's no different. It's not like I'm approaching anything different. It's just knowing that, like, yeah, I'm going to come to the rink. I'm going to do my job. I'm going to play. I'm going to, whatever. And I don't have to. And it's weird too. Even some of those places I was at, it's like you're not worried about. You don't think it's going to happen. It just does. Like that league is just there's so many transactions every day. Yeah. There's new people and college kids are done. Well, we're going to sign college kids. It's It's quite the crapshoot sometimes. But my experience is over. Like I enjoyed it. I was in a lot of really good spots.
Nice.
And so, I met a lot of great people, played some good hockey. Like it was, I enjoyed my experience in that league. Like obviously it would have been nice not to be traded around as much as I was, but that's just the way that she goes sometimes.
Well, it's interesting that you mentioned using a sports psychologist. I think I've heard a couple of other players, I think former players too, that have said they've used that. How has that kind of strengthened your game, right? When you've been able to have a good mentality before you go into something and kind of work with that, how has being able to use like a sports psychologist and stuff helped in that process?
Yeah, I mean, I'll never forget when my first year junior, I remember like it was like the fall and I was kind of like maybe in a rut or whatever, go to the rink, I'd come home, make a frozen pizza, watch Netflix. Like I didn't feel like depressed or anything or kind of in a funk, but my dad maybe noticed. He called me one night where at his work they had like an occupational therapy, like a mental performance coach come in and deal with the work, whatever, and he called me and I remember him being like, you ever think about like seeing a mental performance coach, like sports psychologist, whatever? And I remember being pissed. Like, you think something's wrong with me? Like, you think I'm mentally unstable? Like, whatever. The whole stigma around mental health and even though it wasn't even about that, it was just about performance on the ice. It's still. And I remember hanging up, and then later that night he's like, why don't you? It was about to be Christmas break. He's like, why don't you come home? You have a phone call with a guy. You meet with him. If you're like, this is junk, then whatever. But if you like it, then stick with it. And I ended up meeting with him. I talked to him on the phone. I agreed to meet with him when I went back for Christmas break, and it changed my career. Like I don't think I'd be where I'm at. I don't think if I wouldn't have had that to go through. And like I always tell people, once you get, you graduate high school, you're 18, you're 19. Like a lot of guys are good. Like everyone's got some skill, can play the game. It's like if you can figure out between the years, like what makes you better, what you can control, what you can't control. Once you kind of like figure all that out, like, and understand yourself, like it just frees you up to play, a better game. Like in junior, for example, like if I'm out there for 2 goals against and I'm a -2, I might be like thinking in my head, like, oh man, like I might be scratched the next night. Like, and then you're worrying about it. Then you're like, well, I just made a couple mistakes. Like now I need to make up for it. Right. Well, it's like, you can't control any of that stuff that happened already. Right. You have to be able to like compartmentalize some of those things. And like for everybody, they're different. Like some people play better when they're like more talkative, more loud, more into the game. Right. Your number is going to be higher versus someone that might be like a goalie. Maybe he doesn't want to get too high. He wants to stay low. Like you got to understand when you're playing your best, where are you at mentally? How are and just figuring out things that can bring you back to where you want to be. And now it's been years. Like it's kind of like ingrained in me where I used to like, we'd have, calls and I'd go through a journal that I had wrote in or what worked, what didn't. And it's more in depth. Whereas now it's more like, I can meet with them every month or I actually met with him before I came here and I haven't talked to him since then yet, but just kind of an update on like how things are going and whatnot. But it's a really big thing. Like, I coach kids in the summer too. And I always, talk with them about that. And like, don't get me wrong. Like you can still get frustrated and you can still let your emotions out and whatnot. But it's always like professional athletes. You're always trying to find an edge, right? Like I guarantee you all these guys in the NHL or in the NFL or, Major League Baseball, like they have people that the teams hire, the organizations hire that they have just at their disposal if they need them. And that field has become a lot more prevalent and it's, I don't know, it's one of the most important things, I think. And it's not just in hockey, it's in life, just understanding like controlling things you can control your attitude, you can control how you prepare for a game, you can control your effort, but I can't control who the coach puts out on the ice. I can't control what the ref calls. I can't control what the other guy crosses. I can control how I react to it. But it's just, those basic kind of principles that you learn and then you learn about yourself and then you're able to, help your performance in that way.
Well, it's interesting because sometimes the first step, and that's the hardest step. For you, the hardest part was being like, okay, let me try it out, whether I like it or not. And for a lot of people, and I would think even athletes, that's the hardest part. It's just admitting that it could work, it couldn't work, something like that.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, for sure, especially in men and, and the thing too is like, right, like I say I got a sports psychologist. Well, I wasn't talking to the sports psychologist about like some anxiety or depression or eating disorder or whatever. There's people that do that as well, but it's strictly performance. It's like, yeah, I'm here to talk to you about how to make your ice hockey game better, right? And even like, you have that stigma, right? I remember when I started using it a month after, and it's like I started telling people, and I almost wanted to tell people because it's like, I was like, what is this? Like, is this gonna, and the impact that it had on me was so great that, I was like, yeah, I have a mental performance coach, and he's great, and it's the best thing I've done. You know what I mean? So I kind of flipped from being like, not ashamed, but like, what? I don't need to talk to this guy to.
Where is this guy been? Where's he been this whole time?
This has been unbelievable. Yeah.
That's awesome. And I appreciate you being vulnerable and talking about that because I think a lot of people we know that there is like a mental part to this, but we're not the athlete out there on the ice. We're not questioning why this happened or that didn't happen. And I understand that there's like a whole different level for you guys playing that we don't understand. So I really appreciate you sharing that. That's really good.
Yeah, no problem.
So you wanted some stability. You end up down here in Alabama. What was kind of like, when did you learn about Huntsville hockey in Alabama in general? I mean, how did that kind of come up to you?
Well, I knew, Austin Alger, I played with him at college. So I knew that he was here, like me and him are buddies. Like we've kept in touch over the years. And, I know he was kind of had a stint in the coast and then went over to Europe and whatever and ended up coming back here. And just in talking with him, like he said how much he's loved it. His experience has been great. The organization, the coaches, everything was good. And so I'd always known that like if I was going to play in this league, like this is where I was going to come play. It was honestly just a matter of like if I wanted to come and play like in the SPHL. Like I was maybe wanted to go to Europe. I didn't really know. Like all summer I was kind of like up in the air. I ended up signing in Tahoe to go to training camp like right before the season just to go out somewhere. I was there for a couple of weeks, got released, and then I was at home for like a month and I was just skating 3 times a week by myself. There's a local high school kid that would come out with me, pass me some pucks, and I coach him in the summer too. So it was pretty cool to be able to go out there with him. But yeah, I was just at home by myself, kind of working out, skating, waiting, just seeing. And then I was like, well, and then you start trying to make decisions, right? Well, I'm like, well, I skated all summer. Like, I want to play still. I had a job. I have a job that I've accepted that whenever I'm done playing, I can get into. I was thinking, maybe do I just do that? Do I play? And I was like, well, I want to play. Like, I skated all summer. Like, I'd hate to be driving home from work in January and be like, damn, why am I not playing? And then I started thinking more about it. I'm like, well, I could go sign in a coast team maybe and then get released or get traded 2 weeks later. And then I'm going through the same, thing I was going through the last 2 years. And I don't know, just with talking to my family, talking with my sports psychologist guy, having, my own conversations with myself, I was just like, you know what, like, it sounds like that would be good. And like, if I go and I hate it, I'll leave. You know what I mean? Like, if I go and I hate it at Christmas, I'll go home. But if I go and I love it, then great. You know what I mean? And it's been odd. Like, I can't say enough, like, about how, happy. We just had family weekend this weekend, and it was awesome that they all got to come down and experience this place, this city. I mean, like, I tell the fans all the time, like, I know they appreciate us, but we appreciate, all you guys, because without you guys, like, the atmosphere isn't as good. It doesn't feel the same. Like, I played a lot of places, and this is like, if not the coolest place fan wise, like playing home games. It's like, you really feel like you mean something to the city and you make a difference. And as a player, like, especially for me, like someone that's kind of like coming to the end here, it's like, it's a great spot to like be able to play. And like, no matter what the level is, like, it's good hockey. The fans are awesome, and it's a great organization. So yeah, it's been great.
Was there anything that surprised you when you got here that you had a perception about it, and then you were like, oh, wow, this is even better than I thought?
I don't know if like surprised me really. I mean, like, I think just like the attention to detail that like all the organization has, like from, the involvement from Keith and Becky as the owners down to Glenn as the GM to the coaches and the booster club, like all of those little things, like I think we're like, wow, it's even above and beyond. Like, I expected this to be a cool place to play from everything that I've heard from, from Alge and from other people that I know that have played here. But yeah, like, it's just like those little things I think exceeded my expectations. The fans, I remember the first game I was playing, it was the second period, and I looked up into the stands, and the upper bowl, it's like there wasn't an empty seat. And it was like, wow, I was looked up there, I was like, Jesus, I'm like, this is unbelievable. Like, I'm like, usually places can be full and there's like seats, open everywhere. Like, there was not an open seat in the house. So I think just like little things like that. And like, obviously, like a lot of teams that I'm on, like they have like booster clubs or they have fans that, are super into it and whatever, but just the volume of the fans here and how passionate they are and how loud they are too. Like, you can fill a building, but if they're not into the game, it still might not be loud,
And it's always interesting when there's like that, we're struggling, it's a rough game, we're really putting our heart into it, and then like somebody fights or there's a goal that we didn't expect to happen. And then the next thing you know, the whole atmosphere and the entire building shifts. Everybody's there. And I wonder, do you guys feel that shift sometimes?
Oh yeah, for sure. We feel that. Like, I even, there's sometimes too, if we're just like, nothing's really happening or whatever, you can feel it being quiet. Like, you can feel when people are kind of like, just sitting and watching, like something needs to happen, right? You get a big hit, you get a fight, you get a shot, a goal. Oh yeah, you can feel it for sure. The difference in the momentum when the fans are into it, when they're not. And that's something too that we like understand, right? Like, if it's quiet, nothing's going, it's like someone's got to like do something, like someone do something, get the crowd into it. Like, let's get going, right? If we need a spark, maybe it's someone go make a big hit and the crowd's going to get into it. Then we're going to get fired up and then we're going to start playing harder, So we for sure can tell.
So it's been an interesting season so far. We're kind of in the home stretch. I think I saw someone post we only had 20 games maybe left, not 20. I don't remember. So many games left. We didn't have that many games left at home. And it kind of made me sad because it made me feel like the season was starting to chip away. But what do you think has been some of the growth points for the team this season? I mean, we've had good games. We've had streaks. We just got off a wonderful 2-game series with with Quad City where we sent them packing, But what has been kind of a growth point for this team?
I mean, like we have a great group of guys. Like, everyone really gets along. We have a great group of guys in the room. We have a great team on paper too. Like, if you look up and down our roster, like the resumes of guys, like we have a really good team. It's just a matter of like, Part of it is I don't know what our records are at home versus away, but I would imagine it's a little bit better at home because we get to play in front of you guys and we're comfortable here. But I think when it comes down to it, like, we just need to play the right way, whether it's, understanding we're not on a rush, get pucks deep and go forecheck, right? I know we got a lot of skilled forwards that like to play fast and like to make plays, but there's times and places to make plays and there's times and places to get pucks deep and go to work. And I think just as long as we play to our systems, to the way that we want to play, and we don't deviate from that, we're just fine, right? And like staying out of the box, I think our penalty kill's been really good, but we don't need to kill 7 penalties a game, right?
Right.
So it's a combination of, right, just kind of staying out of the box, playing 5-on-5, playing the right way, and like our goaltending's been good. Everything is set up perfectly in line, as long as we just, it's kind of up to us, right? Like, if we're going to come and play and have the urgency to play from the start, I think, we're going to beat any team in this league. So it's just continuing to build on that down the last, whatever we have, 17, 20 games left. And then
something like that. Maybe it's total of that many and half of those are at home. I couldn't remember.
Yeah. I know we're on the road here. We play, Sunday at home, and then we're on the road for a bit here coming up. Yeah.
And that makes those of us who look forward to a Friday, Saturday night game sad, because we watch you wherever you're at, but it's a difference when we get to come see you guys. So I'm curious, this year, what have you done personally to challenge yourself on the ice? You stepped into a new team. This is kind of a new opportunity for you. What have you done to make yourself a better player this season?
I mean, I think I've just, like we kind of talked about with the last couple of years, like always, worrying about this or that or playing a certain way. Like, I don't know if there's anything certain like that I push myself to like become better at or do. It's just like going out there and playing my game, being confident, and like not worrying about mistakes, right? Like, I might go out there and make a mistake one shift, and it might be a bad play or whatever, but the next shift I'm going to go out there and like I'm not going to be afraid to make it again, right? Like just being confident, playing free, having fun. Like, that's honestly been my goal this year. It hasn't, it's been more having fun, enjoying myself, like winning games, playing hard. Versus like trying to over evaluate my play. Oh, I should have done this, should have done that. It's like, I'm good enough to play at this, to play at this level and play a lot, and really just, mistakes are going to happen, but like go out there and play. And like, I've had a big focus on the penalty kill and, playing against other teams' top lines, which is like something that I've done forever. So it's been good just, getting into my role as, more like me and Dom will go on the penalty kill a lot and kind of zone in on that. But other than that, it's just my focus has just been to enjoy it and just to have a good time and while playing hard, obviously, but just enjoying playing the game that I love, I would say.
Any teams that you've played against in this league that have surprised you, that you weren't like expecting to be either that good or have those kinds of things? No. I guess that's one way I'd put it. Like, if you talk about players, right? Like, my last 2 years, okay? If I'm on the ice, there's a couple guys that I'm like, all right, if I'm on the ice with these guys, like, keep your head in a swivel. They can make plays. They're going to be really fast. They're going to snap it around, whatever. Like, but in this league, like, compared to the guys that I was going up against the last 2 years, like, the top lines on these teams are like guys that I would just, if I was playing them last year or the year before, you wouldn't even bat an eye, right? Yeah. So just of having that experience of playing in that league, like, not saying that the players in this league aren't good, because they are good, but it's just like I've played at a level where I've done it, right? So like, I'm not expecting, I don't care if Leaf Mattsson's got 45 points on the Quad City Storm, like that doesn't mean anything to you. It
doesn't mean anything to me. Like, and that goes back to like, I'm just worried about myself, and like, I'm just worried about going out there and like being a good teammate and a good player for my team and for all my teammates, and like doing what I can do to help them. Like, I'm not really too worried about like if we're playing the Fayetteville Marksmen or if we're playing the Peoria Rivermen, right? Like, I'm just going to show up and play my game no matter what.
So, the Havoc are pretty known for being really aggressive this season in the forecheck, and consistently always aggressive in that. And so I'm curious, as a defenseman, what do you think is the defenseman that you guys are able to contribute to that strategy of really being right there where you need to be on the ice and kind of really putting a lot of pressure? Because for the past few games, even games that we've lost, I have seen a lot of really good pressure being put in on the defensive side. And it's really, I feel like, contributed to some of the teams not really being able to get some goals in. Like, you guys have really protected the goal and done a lot of that. So I'm kind of curious, how do you see kind of your role in this as part of that?
Yeah, I mean, like, just as a whole, like D zone and offensive zone, you're saying?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like, D zone, like, we have a plan, and, like, you know, if the puck's coming in this side and this defenseman steps up, right, we want to go up the wall, or we want to go around. Like, we have these things, these guardrails built into our game, right? And, like, obviously, hockey, it doesn't always go the right way, so you have to be able to make plays, too. Like, us defensemen in the D zone, we have the freedom to make plays that aren't necessarily what we were, you know, all right, if it goes here, we want to go up there. Well, if there's a guy covering that guy, then you got to, you know, figure it out. As long as you're supporting people, and like us 6 or 7 defensemen, like, we've been really solid in just getting pucks out, right? And you mentioned, like, getting on the forecheck, and that's kind of what I mentioned. Like, when we're at our best, we're getting pucks behind their D and we're forechecking, right? Well, when we're forechecking and our forwards are, you know, have a lot of time down in that end, they're wingers, and they all have to collapse back. So then we can go low to high in the offensive zone, and it opens up room for us to go D to D and then to go 3 high in the offensive zone. So just playing fast and playing quick and executing in the D zone, I think, is big, right? Like, you don't want to play in the D zone as much as possible. If you do get stuck in the D zone, and you get running around, just pack it in a little bit, be all right. Like, let them play to the outside, and we get a turnover, we can clear it, we can reset.
Right.
But I think, like, where we've run into issues is, like, the neutral zone. Like, that's when you get pucks out into the neutral zone, and then you turn a puck over in the neutral zone, us defensemen have bad gaps getting up. They're coming right back down at us. We don't get to change.
Yeah.
So it's those games where we kind of get, when it gets into a neutral zone battle, it's like, just get pucks deep, go after their D. Like, there's not a team in this league that has a better D core than us. So, like, you get in, like, these D are going to turn pucks over. Like, if you forecheck them and you get, you know, your stick on the puck and whatnot. So when we play like that, like, we played that way against Peoria, and it just didn't go our way. That's hockey sometimes. But, like, Quad City, like, you play that way, and we're going to beat them every time.
Yeah.
So it's just a combination of just playing fast, executing, and just knowing, like, when to make a certain play at a certain point of the game.
Yeah, and it's interesting you compare, like, those two particular stretches of games. I can see in the Peoria game where that neutral zone was a problem. And it's almost as if, like, I don't know, it clicked for you guys, like you fixed it, you know, and I know that you can't control what happens in a game. Every time it's different. But there was just something, I guess, a little bit more magical about this last couple of games against Quad City that just really showed, like, you guys had seen some issues, had worked hard in practice, and were really clicking in a good mindset to really put the puck where it needed to be and get it out of the zone and kind of contain it. So I was really impressed with that. I really could, as a fan, see a change from that Peoria stretch to what happened at Quad City. Yeah, and even like Peoria, like I was saying, like we played Fayetteville, I don't think we played super great, but we ended up coming out of there with 3 points or whatever. The Peoria weekend, like there might have been a period or two where we struggled with the neutral zone stuff, but for the most part, like we were getting pucks and we were doing the right things against Peoria, but Peoria is the best team in the league right now, right? So it's like when we play that way against Peoria, it's going to be a dogfight, right? But if we play that way against any other team, like a Quad or a Fayetteville or not, like we should be able to beat them handily. Right. It's like if we're going to, when we play Peoria or Pensacola or whatever, like the margins for error are just lower, right? So it's like you got to really be on your game and doing it. And I think even though the results didn't show against Peoria, like there was flashes where we struggled a bit, but like for the most part, like we were doing our job. It's like, but that's another good team on the other side that, you know, they play well and they play hard too. So yeah, I 100% thought that regardless of how that stretch went, that was some of the best hockey I've seen this season. Like I was just really impressed with that. And I've seen that continue from the last couple of sets of games. So as a fan, I'm pretty impressed with that change.
We'll be back with more of the Reekin Havoc podcast.
Time now for the Huntsville Havoc Pick of the Pack, a weekly spotlight. Head coach Stuart Steffen.
Jackson Camp, number 55, right shot D-man for us. He's a guy we actually found late in the summer there, kind of popped up in September there, and we were looking for some D-man, and we got him signed. We started the year in the ECHL, and then came down and shown really good for us. So really solid defensively, good stick, not afraid to block shots, get in the lanes, and then on the same side, been really good on the PK for us, and does a really good job of again, same kind of thing, like not afraid to block shots, kills a lot of plays, able to clear pucks for us. So, he's been a big part of our decor there and just having really good, solid defense there. And then, he chips in offensively every once in a while, which is always a plus too. And then another good guy in the locker room as well. Guys really like him, and he works extremely hard off the ice, just kind of like on the ice as well. So, yeah, he's been a good pickup this year, and we're looking forward to him heading into playoffs here.
The Reekin Havoc podcast will be right back.
If you'd like to find a way to a healthier, more flexible you, look no further than Stretch Zone, practitioner-assisted stretching to help you achieve your wellness goals. The Stretch Zone method will help you gently and gradually increase your active range of motion with an approach tailored specifically to your needs. From basic back stretching exercises to sciatic nerve stretches, give them a try with a free 30-minute session. Stretch Zone, locations in Athens, Madison, Huntsville, Decatur, and Rogersville. Visit them on Facebook or online at stretchzone.com.
My name is Joel, and I came to St. Jude Children's Research Hospital in December of 1987 to be treated for osteosarcoma, which is bone cancer. We didn't know anything about St. Jude. We didn't know what they meant, or that, when we got here, what we would do, how it would be taken care of. And when we arrived, we found out that my family wasn't going to have to pay for any of my treatment, not for my medicine, not for travel, not for housing, not for food. St. Jude was going to cover all that. St. Jude supported me in every way, from, taking that financial burden off my parents to making sure that all of my family was included in this time. St. Jude literally means everything to me. I get to go home to my family tonight. I get to cook dinner for them. That's what you're giving. You are giving us everything by supporting St. Jude. So thank you so much.
Finding cures, saving children. Learn more at stjude.org.
Hey, this is Travis Koffelt, and you're listening to the Reekin Havoc podcast.
So I want to kind of shift a little, and I'm curious if you could just share a little bit with where you're from, how you ended up in hockey. Like, was this your mom and dad threw you into it? Did you wake up one day wanting to do this? Like, how did hockey become a lifestyle for you, and where are you from?
Well, so first, I'm from Blaine, Minnesota. So Minnesota is the state of hockey, for those of you that don't know that. So that's kind of self-explanatory how I'm into hockey. When I grew up, I played a ton of sports. I mean, I played baseball through 12th grade. I played football through 10th grade. So I was a three-sport athlete until 10th grade. Mm-hmm. I golfed, did karate growing up until I had to stop doing that. I was in swimming. Like, I was doing everything. I just loved to be outside and play sports. And I had a good group of guys on my street growing up that we'd be outside, whether it's playing basketball or football or hockey in the winter. But as long as I can remember, I think I started doing skating lessons when I was like, 5 or 6, maybe 4 or 5, 6, and started playing mites when I was a first grader, second grader, and then third grader. I went to squirts, or maybe I went up, I don't know. And I just played hockey. It was always, my life was always, football was in the fall, hockey in the winter, baseball summer or spring, summer, but also hockey was all year round. So when I was younger, I'd play on like AAA teams, or would play on tournaments and stuff. When I got to like the age of 7th, 8th grade, I started doing, it was called Minnesota Advancement Program. It's like a training facility in my town. And it was just every day, there's guys from local cities. We'd have an hour of skating, an hour workout. You'd have some games too with other campuses and whatnot, but it was just kind of like summer training stuff. So I'd play baseball. I'd go to hockey during the day and go to baseball in the evening. But yeah, I always like growing up, I think, I really liked football too, but it wasn't as much of a passion of mine as baseball and hockey. And I was pretty good at baseball and I really enjoyed baseball, but I always knew that like I said, I grew up in the state of hockey. I grew up going to Wild games with my dad or my mom and my sister, and like I just loved hockey. Like I just knew that was my love, was hockey. And I just then remember when I was in high school, like I would play baseball and play football still, but like I knew hockey was going to be my sport. But it was never like, a lot of guys. I was fortunate in Minnesota. Like I get to stay at home and play with my buddies and try to play in the state tournament in Minnesota and whatnot. But a lot of guys have to leave home when they're, 13, 14 if they want to try to play at a higher level, right? And growing up in the state of Minnesota, I was lucky enough to be able to stay at home. And enjoy that. And I didn't really have to think about what am I doing next until like my junior or senior year, really. Like I'd start to go to some camps and tryouts, but I knew I was going to stay at home. So it was just a matter of what am I going to do when I graduate.
And was playing pro always the goal, or was it like, if it happens, it happens?
No, I think for me, like it was, obviously when I was a kid, when I was growing up, it was like, I want to be in the NHL. That's my goal.
Right.
And then you realize, right, like you get to high school and it's like, all right, my goal is to play in the USHL or the NAL or the BCHL. I want to play juniors. All right, well then I make juniors, and then the goal is, all right, I want a Division I scholarship. I want to play at a D1 school. And brought that right down to the wire. My second year juniors, committed to Canisius. And then that was probably my biggest goal, is like play D1 hockey. That's what I wanted to do.
Yeah.
And then like you get to school, and at school I just was enjoying the college experience, being in a new place. Like those were the best 4 years ever. I loved it there. And then when I was done there, it was like, well, I can still play. I still love playing. Like, why not go try to play? And so that's kind of my thing. Like, I got the rest of my life to do whatever job I'm going to do.
Yeah.
Like, I only have right now to play. And like a lot of the, past players that I've, or coaches that I've had that have played, or people, they're like, play until you hate it, play until you're done, play until it's like you have peace with it, because you'll feel better that way.
Yeah.
And yeah, it was always, I always wanted to play hockey. Like I was always a hockey player, you know what I mean? It was never like, it was like, I remember being a kid and going to one of my first meetings at MAP when I was like a 7th or 8th grader, and they asked like, all right, what's your goal in hockey? And I was like, playing the NHL. And they kind of looked at me like, what do you mean? Like NHL, like any kid, like it's not easy to make the NHL. But I always just like had the confidence. Like I always like had that, like, that's what I wanted to do. I wanted to be a hockey player. And like, I always knew, like, in high school, like, I didn't, like, apply to any colleges or anything. Like, I knew I was going to go play juniors, and everything worked out great. And I'm glad I got to go to Canisius. And after that, like, my pro hockey career, like, the experiences, like, you've seen all the cities I've been to. Like, I've been all the way across the country. I've been to the most eastern point on Canada. Like, these are all experiences that I'm going to have for the rest of my life, right? So, it's all worth it, I think.
I love that mentality. And I also love the fact that it took you so many places that maybe whatever another route would have taken, you would have not given you that opportunity to see the stuff. So I really like that. Okay. So you mentioned that you coach kids in the summer. So is this like your own thing you do, or are you part of an organization? What's that like?
Yeah. So it's called MAP, Minnesota Advancement Program. So I was a part of it since I was a 7th, 8th grader, right? Like I was one of the kids.
Okay.
So I grew up through the program. It's in my hometown. It's a pretty big training company. When I started, they just had one campus in Blaine and then another south of the cities. But now it's a different owner, and he owns one in Blaine, one in Plymouth, one in Hudson, one in St. Michael. So there's 4 campuses. So it's a very big training program. My campus is the biggest. Blaine, we work out of the Herb Brooks Training Center. There's a whole dryland area with shooting lanes, workout racks, you name it. And then the Super Rink has 8 rinks. It's the biggest rink in the world, or in terms of sheets of ice.
Yeah.
So that's about 5-10 minutes from my house. So in the summers, when I graduated high school, I went to play in Minot. And that summer I came back, I was hired part-time to be a coach. So I still to this day, like when I go back in the summers, I train there, I skate there, and then I also coach. So it's from kids, it's boys and girls. I'm usually more with the boys, the MAP boys. There's MAP and Fit boys, and then there's MAP girls. And so there's so many groups, but I'm usually with the MAP boys, who are like more of the higher end kids in the program. And it goes from 4th and 5th graders all the way up to the pro tier, which I'm in. Okay. So it's been really cool. There's been a lot of kids that I've started to coach in the summer when they were tier 2s, which would have been 6th graders, till when they graduate high school. So it's been really cool to be able to like watch some of those kids grow from being peewees to, being high schoolers that want to go play juniors and that want to go play pro or play college, which has been super cool. Like the kid I mentioned that I got to skate with when I was back, I actually graduated high school with his older brother. Me and his older brother were captains together on the Blaine High School team. and his younger brother was always around, during our baseball tournaments and whatever. And I coached him ever since he was a young kid coming up, and now he's a high schooler and he's a pretty good player, and he's really into it, and he wants to play beyond high school and do all that. And so it's been cool to watch those guys, just grow up too, right? You get to watch these kids, come back the next year, and he's got a mustache and he's got a deep voice, and you're like, holy crap, man.
Not the same kid.
But so it's been super cool to do that, because I came through it, right? I did the same exact thing as them. I remember when I was their age. I remember when I was a high schooler and, going to these games and doing that. And
you see yourself in some of the kids, like maybe their attitude,
for sure,
or the things.
Yeah, for sure.
Like you laugh 100%. About it. You're like, yeah.
Totally 100%. And I can see, some of the kids out there, right? Like, I remember the way that I was, and you can see that some kids have some of that in, but it's also cool because it's like, all right, like, I feel like I can kind of obviously every single person is different. Like, I can't just put my experiences on everybody, but you see those similarities in people's games, and I'm still going through it. Like, I'm still playing, and that's I have a good relationship with a lot of these players, because they might listen to the 27-year-old guy that's still playing pro hockey versus the 45-year-old lead instructor, who they're like, oh, even though that guy was a stud when he played and he was unbelievable, they don't really get that, right? I'm kind of like the assistant coach to the head coach type relationship. And so it's cool to be able to have those conversations with them. And also I'm a big, you got to have relationships with these kids before you for example, if someone comes up and tells me to do this or do that, I'm going to be like, I don't know who the hell you are. Why would I listen to you? But if I get to know you and I maybe ask you questions about your life or just get to know you a little more, then we build that relationship, and it's okay, I trust this guy, and understanding certain situations, when to say something to someone, when to not. And this is a lot of part of the whole sports psychology thing. I went to school for psychology at school. So that stuff always really interests me, but I'm just really big on the relationships to have with the kids, and then when it's time to be serious and it's time to hey, you need to do this, you need to do that, or you're doing this, then they'll listen. Versus if you're constantly just, oh, do this, do that, do this, it's they might just tune you out and be like, dude, I don't care what this guy's saying. You know what I mean?
When you see these youth kids out here learning the game, I mean, some are learning, some are semi-seasoned. They keep coming back. They're practicing all the time. They're living and breathing it like you did. But what do you see as some of the ways that the game is changing in these kids? Either in is it how you guys are teaching them stick handling and different things like that? Is there other things? How is the game emerging and evolving into this generation, and what you're seeing when you're training them?
Well, I think the game of hockey is just evolving in general, right? If you watched a hockey game from 20 years ago versus today, it's so much faster today. The skating is ridiculous on some of these guys. The skill, a lot of these kids, now that there's Twitter and Instagram and Facebook, they see guys doing the Michigan or doing cool tricks with their sticks, and they want to do that. It's that's not ice hockey. I get it. There's time and a place to do something like that, but it's you should be on the ice practicing your crossovers and your tape-to-tape passes instead of how to do the Michigan and flip your stick on it, and how many times can I flip it in the air. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But those are just kids, right? Too. That's also part of it. They're going to screw around and do all that.
Yeah.
I think just in general, the hockey world, maybe the world just in general, but is a little bit softer in terms of maybe physicality, or there's certain I personally like a player that's got a little bit of something to their game, like a Connor Fries or a Cole Reginado, who's they're gonna they're not afraid to mix it up or get in front of the net or hit a guy, and there's not a lot of kids like that, and there's some kids that I coach that I see that have that edge to their game.
Yeah,
because you could be the most skilled player on the ice, but if you don't have that edge, that determination to I'm gonna line up across this guy, and I don't care who you are, I'm gonna be better than you, I'm gonna kick the crap out of you, that type of mindset, I think can go a long way, right? You can teach a guy. I can teach a player how to make a pass or how to do this or do something technical, but I can't teach a kid how to have the determination, have the fire in himself. And I think that's something that's just internal, right? You can't really teach that, but that's something that when I see in a kid, I'm there's something there, that can be built off, right? But in terms of the game in general, I think the game is just, it's faster, it's a little bit more skilled. But it's not anything super crazy for me. I mean, I kind of grew up in the era where it was kind of, changing a little bit versus if you were to ask someone that was, maybe 10 years older than me, that might be a bigger difference.
Okay, so we're going to shift a little. We had some fan questions come in, and so I was going to ask you through those. I think it'll be kind of fun for people to find out. So a lot of people always want to know kind of what does a typical game day look like for you? From how do you get into, I guess, that game day mindset? Especially, I always think about you just got out of one game day mindset, slept for 5, 6, 7 hours, got back up and started it over, especially when you have couples. So what's a typical game day? Is there superstitions, pregame rituals, all that kind of stuff?
I've honestly changed a lot. Like, it depends. Like, in college, it was a lot different than it is now. Because every team's got different schedules on when they morning skate, what they got going on, and whatever. But, like, typical home game for me is, like, we'll wake up, we'll go to the rink in the morning, we'll do pre-scout. I'll skate. I like to skate out there. Most guys do. It's like a 20-minute skate. I'll get off the ice, shower. This year I've been getting Chipotle. Chipotle is my favorite food on planet Earth. But
what's the order? So if somebody goes to Chipotle, they have to get the Lincoln Erne special. Like, what is?
They get a bowl to go, extra white rice, like extra white. You usually got to ask them a couple times. Black beans, double chicken, hot sauce or hot salsa medium, corn, sour cream, extra cheese, and guac, and then a bag of chips on the side with a water cup.
Gotcha. Okay.
And I use the Chipotle Tabasco that they have there. Yeah, I've been obsessed with Chipotle since I was like in high school. But so that's usually what we get on the road. Like usually sometimes I do pasta or whatever. Like I switch it up. Like I used to never get Chipotle. But since that's what we get on the road, like most of the time, like I was like, I liked it. So I was like, I'll just do it. Whatever. Game days, I take it easy on the hot salsa usually, but I like still a little bit of it in there.
But if you're doing this each time, then even if it's home, Chipotle's kind of become like a superstitious ritual. It seems like maybe.
But for example, like Saturday we played at 3.
Yeah.
I just woke up and I just made breakfast. I made like 6 eggs and like turkey bacon and a bagel.
Gotcha. Yeah.
So like I'm really not that like.
I get you.
It's also like I would use it as I'd say, hey, I'm superstitious. I have to get it because I love Chipotle so much that I have to. I could just use that as an excuse. But
hey, you never know. They may be calling you for an endorsement. Who knows at this rate?
That would be unbelievable.
For life. So
yeah. So I usually pick that up, bring it back here, eat that around like noon, and then I usually will like hang out with whoever's. If anyone's hanging out in the house, I'll watch something with them for a little bit. And then it depends on how I'm feeling. I usually will sleep from like 12:45 or 1 or maybe 1:30. Depends. Like it depends when I fall asleep, but I always nap till like 3:50. So I usually get like a 2-hour nap in, 2.5 hour nap in. Wake up at 3:50, hop in the shower off, get dressed, and then I go to the rink. And at the rink, I usually just...
The rest is history.
Yeah, I tape my stick. I do a couple stretches. I like to throw the football around a little bit. I like to listen to music and whatever, get in the zone a bit, and then I go out there and play an ice hockey game.
So someone asked, who's the best at sewer ball?
Well, okay, so I'm not educated enough to answer that question because I don't play sewer ball.
You don't go out there and play with them?
No, so when they play... I throw a football around with Matt Allen and Austin Alger.
Okay.
So I've always been a football guy, even in college. Like I'll like occasionally every once in a while like play sewer, but like I don't know. Like I'm a football guy, I guess. I don't know.
So out of the two you throw football with, which one's a better football thrower?
I don't know. They're probably both better than me. I don't know. Matt, I always say Alge can throw a pretty good spiral. And so can Matty. Matty's got he throws it like Phillip Rivers. If anyone's listening wants to look up Phillip Rivers throwing a football, he kind of like shot put throws it.
Yeah.
And that's how Matty looks, but it's still pretty good. It's still a pretty good spiral. Mine, we use Alge's, he's got a Detroit Lions ball.
Okay.
And I think like maybe I just like can't throw that specific ball that well because I'm a Vikings fan and like the Lions, like it's a crappy ball, crappy team. I don't know.
Maybe if we got you a Vikings ball to throw,
maybe
a lot better.
Yeah. Maybe that would help. Yeah,
I got you on that one. Okay, so someone also wanted to know. So we know that you guys, practice during the week skating. You have your morning skate before a game, but you all have to be in the gym at some time. There's still conditioning and things that happen. How do you guys work conditioning into that? What is like a normal gym routine? How often do you guys do that kind of stuff?
So, like for example, like today we had a workout. Like we'll have depends how the weekends go. Like this weekend we swept and we had family weekend and stuff. So coach gave us Sunday and Monday off. So today was our first thing. So like today we went in, have a little film, and then we have a trainer. He works at the D1 in Huntsville. He'll come in. His name is Blake, and he'll run us through like a dynamic warm up, couple of jogging, couple of running type things, and then we'll do a workout. It's like 2 blocks of like, pull ups, maybe some trap bar deadlifts with a jump, some rear foot elevated split squats. Like to me, it's all about in the season. It's all about just like keeping up with it, right? It's not like we're trying to get bigger and stronger in the season. We're trying to keep our muscles strong so that it doesn't break down, right? Like, it's not about how many reps or how heavy. It's about just the repetition of like, all right, you're doing it. You're working those muscles. Those muscles are staying strong so that at the end of the year, because I mean, I'm sure there's plenty of teams that aren't, working out as much as us. Like tomorrow we just call it like a board workout. Like Blake will text Dom and Dom will put the workout on the board and we just can go in there whenever. And like today we did all of our workout together, but sometimes it's like, all right, if some guys get there and want to do it before practice or after or whatever, it's just kind of make sure you get it done type of deal. And like we're skating a lot, like at this point of the season with all the games we're having, like the conditioning just comes from just playing all the games, right? And like we're practicing still a decent amount. Yeah. But the working out stuff is just, it's more of like the maintenance, right? Like the maintenance with your muscles, and like we're able to go to the health and wellness place in Huntsville too. So like I'm big on going there and sauna and steam room and just keeping the body fresh, sitting in the hot tub, swimming in the pool a little bit. All those little things that we can do off the ice, well, like, they make a difference down the road.
Who pushes the team the hardest at practice?
Who pushes the team the hardest at practice? I don't know about the team in general. I don't know. I would have to say David Novotny, number 9.
Okay.
He's always going balls to the walls in every drill. Like if you get your head up, and I mean everyone does though. Like we do a really good job of competing against each other. Yeah. Like we're doing 1-on-1, 2-on-1, like 2-on-2s. Like guys are getting after it, and like I think all of us. I mean, I could go down a list, right? Yeah. And say names, but if I had to pick one guy in practice that's always working his bag off, it's Novo for sure. That's hands awesome. Down.
Okay, if you weren't playing hockey, what would you be doing in life? What would your job be?
Realistically, or what would I like to be doing?
Both, because there's things I would realistically like to
do. All right, well, people ask, all right, if I wasn't a hockey player and like I could play a different sport professionally, I'd probably be like a golfer, like a pro golfer. I think that'd be.
Would you want a green jacket, like to that level?
I would love a green jacket. Yeah, that would be unbelievable. I think playing the PGA Tour would be sweet. But I'm actually this fall. It was kind of a long story, but I ended up accepting a position to be a financial advisor when I'm done playing hockey. So like currently. Earlier this season, I did all my study hours and passed exams and took the exam to be licensed for life, accident, and health insurance. So I'm licensed in that, and now I'm currently studying for it's called SIE, Securities Industry Essentials exam. And then after that, I got to do a Series 6 and Series 63. So that's kind of what I do. Like that's what I'll do after this. I'll start studying, and I'll usually do a chapter a day or so. So essentially what that is just like I'll be helping people with money and like, sitting down, where do you want to be in life? Where do you see yourself? Like, how do we get there? Putting things in place, and doing that. So that's something that whenever I'm done playing, like I can hop right into, and me being able to do these exams and all this studying while I'm playing, like helps me get a little head start for when I do start. I'll already have these qualifications to kind of just hop right into it. And also, I guess I'll add too, on top of that, I would like to be involved in hockey. Like I would like to be a coach of some sort, whether it's at the high school level or who knows where the road takes me there. But I did think about, like, I really love coaching. Like I love the game. Like obviously I played it my whole life and I feel like I'm pretty knowledgeable about it. So that's always something that, I want to stay involved in some way, shape or form.
Okay. Last few things. Well, someone wanted to know, who are you rooting for on the NHL side? But then also, are some of your players that you really like about to go compete for an Olympic gold? Like, who are you watching to and all that?
Team USA all the way. Team USA all the way. And Minnesota Wild all the way too.
Okay.
So diehard Minnesota Wild fan. Obviously, we have a lot of Olympians going, but Team USA, like Brock Faber, Matt Boldy, and Quinn Hughes are all playing on the USA team.
Okay.
There's a few guys on the Wild that are playing on Team Sweden, one on Team Germany. So, but I'm Olympics. I'm all USA.
USA all the way.
Yep. If I got a guy in the Wild that's playing on a different team, I don't like you for these next 2 weeks.
2 weeks, we're unfriends. I get it. It's hard for me because I have so many players that are on the Canadian teams that I really like. And so I love my USA hockey. I love my team. I just finished watching the documentary on the Miracle Group from 1980. And they brought those guys back to talk about their experience. And I just cried and loved it. It was wonderful. I just absolutely loved that.
Yeah.
But I'm kind of like you. It's hard, right? I've got people over here that I like, but I really want to root for Team USA all the way. So I get that.
Yeah.
Okay. So the last thing we wanted to end on was just, we're close to the end of the season. They just released today how the playoff schedule was going to go. There's a lot of buzz online and some of the Facebook communities talking about that playoff and stuff. So I'm just curious, like, what do you think is the thing that the Huntsville Havoc have to do to kind of keep themselves on the trajectory that they're at? Because there's a lot of excitement in the fan base in general, because we're getting to what Tyler always calls the second part of the season, which is playoffs. So what do we as a team, what do you guys have to do to get to that place?
I mean, I think just reiterate like the stuff that I said before. Like we have a great team. We have a great group of guys. We have the skill to do it. We have the goaltender. Like we have everything that we need. It's just a matter of like having that urgency and playing the right way and making the right decisions in the right spots, right? Like, I think as long as we make teams go 200 feet and we get pucks behind their goal line, like they're going to have trouble coming down through all of us and then scoring on top of it. So I think like there's some times where we just need to play simple and play hard. And then there's going to be times where we have opportunities, we have odd man rushes, like go make plays and do things like that. But like, I don't know. We have a good group of guys. We know what we need to do. Like we've shown that we can do it. And like, I don't think there's any big adjustment or any big thing that we do or say. It's like, we know what we got to do. Like, just go do it. You know what I mean?
It reminds me of the 1980 Olympic team coach Herb saying, play your game. That's all he told them that night, was just play your game. And the whole time I've heard you talk about the season and what you guys are doing, that's what keeps echoing. It's just, we know our game. We know what we have to do. And now we just got to play our game.
Yeah, exactly.
I like that. Well, thank you so much for taking some time to chat. I really appreciate it. The fans appreciate it. They really wanted you to come on and share your story and talk a little bit. And I really appreciate that. We're looking forward to the rest of the season and all that good stuff.
Awesome. Well, I appreciate you having me on.
Oh, you're welcome. Thank you so much.
That was Laura Pitts with defenseman Lincoln Erne. We'll be back with more of the Reekin Havoc podcast.
The Reekin Havoc podcast.
In June of 2005, our twin girls were delivered, Melissa and Ann Catherine, and they were born 14 weeks early.
Amy and Chris George talk about the Melissa George Neonatal Memorial Fund.
They both weighed less than 2 pounds. Ann Catherine was 115 and Melissa was 1'9". Melissa lived for a couple of hours, but all of the medical technology in the world just could not have saved her, and she passed away while she was in the NICU. Chris realized pretty early that God had given us a platform that we could use to try to help people. So Chris and I started the Melissa George Neonatal Memorial Fund at Huntsville Hospital.
To know that Melissa's name is living on, her legacy continues. And I think that was very important to Amy and I, is why the fund is named after her. Because for 7 weeks, Melissa fought so that Ann Catherine would have a chance to live. And I think that we wouldn't be doing her name any justice if we didn't carry on, because we know we wanted to honor her and honor her legacy. And the community, Huntsville Havoc, the community in Huntsville itself, they've rallied around that. And it's been a wonderful support system for us And I think for a lot of families too, when they see total strangers that are giving.
We're online at HuntsvilleHospitalFoundation.org. Click on the Melissa George Neonatal Memorial Fund and you can give that way.
There's no donations too small, and every dollar is just as important as the next one. And if you're giving, then we understand you're giving because you care. And that's what's important, is that we've learned over the years that people give because they care.
And you can volunteer. If you're interested in that, you can click on the volunteer tab to fill out an application. We are grateful for any type of support because we know that once we pull those dollars together, we can do big things.
For more information on the Melissa George Neonatal Memorial Fund, visit HuntsvilleHospitalFoundation.org.
I'm Austin Alger, and you're listening to the Reekin Havoc podcast.
A sweep came over Quad City this weekend. Friday's golf night at the rink seemed to be well in hand as the Havoc scored the first 4 goals, beginning with Matt Allen's shot at 18:34 the opening period. Dominic Procopio and Ben Schultheis were in on the assist. 3 more came in short order in the second period as Frank Trezera found the net at 17:09 with help from Allen and Kevin Weaver-Vitale. Then Austin Alger at 17:35, assisted by Cole Golka and Gio Procopio, and the third by Gio, Alger, and Josh Kessner at 18:53. The Storm made a push at 10:41 into the third, followed by another at 11:43. Golka, Weaver-Vitale, and Gio came back with the last point of the game at 15:03 for the 5-2 final. Brian Wilson was the winning goalie, saving 35 of 37 shots on goal. Huntsville attempted 42 in all. Quad City was hit for 11 penalty minutes to the Havoc 7. Allen, Gio, and Alger were the 3 stars of the game. First out of the gate on Saturday was the Storm as they hit the scoreboard twice at the 3:24 and 14:40 marks of period number 1. Kessner found the net on a solo, short-handed penalty shot at 16:47 to begin Huntsville's comeback. Alger scored his 18th of the season at 10:03 of the second to tie the game. Golka lent his assistance. Gio, Golka, and Alger teamed up for the go-ahead goal at 14:06 of the third before Alger and Golka got together again for the fourth and final score at 16:54. Dyson Skinner rejected 30 of 32 to come out as the winning goalie. Penalty minutes went 8 to the Havoc and 6 to Quad City. 3 stars of the game were Alger, Golka, and Skinner. The SPHL announced an expanded President's Cup format earlier this week. The first round will stay a best-of-3 series, while the semifinals and finals will go to a best-of-5. Austin Alger was named the Warrior Hockey SPHL Player of the Week following his performance this past weekend, which included 3 goals, 1 a game winner, 2 assists, and was +4. He also retains his perch atop the team points, goals, and assist categories with 39, 20, and 19 respectively, putting him 5th in points and 2nd in goals in the league. Brian Wilson is 3rd in the SPHL in wins with 16 and 5th in save percentage and goals against average with .924 and 2.36. He's also 4th in the SP with his 3 shutouts. Upcoming games are Friday's road contest at Evansville, Sunday's Mardi Gras tilt against Knoxville, and Monday's trip down the interstate to Pelham for a 1 o'clock meeting with the Bulls. All Havoc tickets are digital and can be accessed through a mobile device. Go online to HuntsvilleHavoc.com and under the Tickets tab, click on Mobile Ticketing. Keep in mind, too, that the VBC is a cashless venue. Concession stands or bars will not accept cash, and Chuck-a-Puck purchase is only available online. Go to the Fan Zone tab at HuntsvilleHavoc.com and click on Auctions Powered by Dash. Be aware of the VBC's clear bag only policy for Havoc games. This includes no clutch purses, fanny packs, and diaper bags. Exceptions to the policy will be made for all medically necessary items after proper inspection. For more information, plus a list of prohibited items, go to HuntsvilleHavoc.com and under the Fan Zone tab, click Security. Remember, if you're a season ticket holder, doors will open at 5:30 p.m. and remain open until puck drop. You can enter through the doors in the hallway adjacent to the Havoc front office and VBC box office.
Do you have a question or a suggestion for a potential upcoming guest on the Reekin Havoc podcast? Send an email to reekinhavoc@outlook.com. That's REEKIN havoc@outlook.com. Leave us a text or voicemail at 256-434-RKKN. That's 256-434-7556. Or send us a message via Facebook or Instagram.
The Reekin Havoc podcast. For those returning from military service, the transition back to civilian life isn't always easy. Retired Marine Gunnery Sergeant Bill Cook talks about still serving veterans.
The mission of still serving veterans is to serve and honor veterans and their families by empowering them to build meaningful lives. And we do that through connecting to fulfilling careers, getting the benefits they deserve, or the services that they need. We have never charged anybody anything for our services. A group of business leaders in town felt there was a need to help the seriously wounded make that transition back into civilian life. Employment services, VA benefits, and connections to other community services. That's what we do. If you're a veteran and you need help, please get a hold of us. Go to that website, ssb.org, and you can find out pretty much anything you need to know about still serving veterans.
In Huntsville, call 256-883-7035. For tickets, official Huntsville Havoc merchandise, and more, go to huntsvillehavoc.com. Visit our website at reekinhavoc.com. Look for us on Facebook, Instagram, X, and Threads. And listen, follow, and subscribe to the Reekin Havoc podcast on your favorite platform to keep up with the only weekly podcast covering the Huntsville Havoc, the Reekin Havoc podcast.